let's talk about simplifying square roots. So we're going to simplify square roots that we can't quite work out. So, for example, we have the square root of 108, which you could do that in your calculator, and if you type the square root of 108, you're going to get a decimal. And we don't exactly like working with decimals because of what one person rounds it one way, someone else rounds it differently, we get different answers. So simplifying allows us to get an answer that we all agree with. Now the best way to do this is think about, well, I can't do this square root perfectly, but let's think about the square roots I do know. So off to the side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list here. So I'm going to start small and think about what are all the square roots I do know. So if I do the square root of 4, that is 2. If I do the square root of 9, that's 3. And I know these work because 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. So the next one I'm going to want is like 4 squared, which is 16. So the square root of 16 is 4, works back and forth. Next would be square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 36 is 6. Then we'd have 49. After 49, we would have 64. Then 81. Then 100. So what I have here is I have a list of numbers we can do the square root of. So any of these numbers, square root of 49, 7, so on and so forth. We're going to use this list to simplify this square root. Now how we're going to do that is we want to start from the bottom of our list. So I want to start with the first number on this list that's just smaller than 108. It's like number like 100. I'm dealing with inside the square root. So right now I'm inside the square root, so I want to be inside the square root over here. And what you can do, and over time you'll get a little bit quicker at this, is I want to find what number in this list on the left can divide into 108 nice and evenly. So meaning I don't want a decimal answer. I want to start with the biggest numbers and work my way up because this will force me to get the most simplified answer. If you go the opposite way, you might not have the most simplified answer. So for example, I'll take like 108 divided by 100. So 108 divided by 100, I get a decimal. That's no good. So then I'll move on to the next one. So I'll do 108 divided by 81. Doesn't work. 108 divided by 64, still decimal. 108 divided by 49, another decimal. 108 divided by 36, and there we go. Kind of a glare there, but I get 3. 108 divided by 36 is 3. So my original number was 108. I want to pay attention to the two numbers I use. So I used 36 and I got 3. 36 and 3. What I'm going to do is I can split this up into two separate square roots. Square root of 36 and square root of 3. So notice it was the number I used to divide and the answer I got. 108 divided by 36 is 3. The reason I can do this is because if you take 36 times 3, you get 108. So these are both equal. Properties of radicals allows us to do that. So what I'm going to do as my next step is let's see if we could simplify any of these individual square roots. So over here on the left, I have the square root of 36. And hopefully you know, well, the square root of 36 is actually 6. So right below this square root of 36, I'm going to put 6 because I know the square root of 36 is 6. Then we could focus on this other piece, the square root of 3. So when I look at this list, I do not have square root of 3. We don't know what it is. I mean, even if you checked in a calculator, the square root of 3 is a decimal, 1.73, blah, 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 blah. So if there's nothing I can do with it, leave it alone. Rewrite it as the square root of 3. And what we have here together is actually my answer. 6 square root of 3 is the answer in the most simplified version of this. Just a form of how you write this, by the way, the square root is always going to be in the back. Any real number you pull out, like square root of 36, that's going to be in the front. So it's 6 square root of 3. We don't say square root of 3, 6. So don't change the order. 6 square root of 3. So I'm going to do one more example here, square root of 96. So what you would want to do is you want to go through this list, start with the large numbers, work your way down. So if it's 96, I don't need to start with 100. 100 is bigger than 96, so I'm going to start with 81. 96 divided by 81 doesn't work. And things that you'll notice is the more problems you do, you'll know kind of what numbers to skip that you just know, they won't work. Like 96 divided by 64, it's not going to work, I know. But showing theory, not going to work. Maybe that 49, I don't know, 96 divided by 49. Nope, still nothing. 96 divided by 36, nothing. 96 divided by 25, I know that's not going to work, but there it is. 96 divided by 16, maybe, and it does work. So we have 16 and we have 6. So I'm going to break this down as square root of 16, one number I have, and my other number was 6. So there's my next step. Let's go to another line. So square root of 16, well, I know that from earlier. That is 4. Square root of 6, we do not know the square root of 6, so you leave it alone. So my answer here is 4 square root of 6. A quick thing you can do to check and be like, you know what, I'm not sure, I wonder if I'm right. Type in a calculator, square root of 96. I get this decimal here. Now check this out. We can type this in a calculator. So I'm going to type 4 square root of 6. Now these are supposed to be the same, so I should get the same decimal, and I do, the exact same decimal. That's how I know these are my correct answers here. And that was simplifying square roots.